Unfortunately, I woke up the next morning and we were hit by a massive snowstorm, just kind of blanketed all of Ontario. It was too early in the morning and too late to change our minds. But we kind of thought, well, if we take it slow and steady, we get home, within about, 12, 13 hours.
What city was this again?
I was up in Ottawa, and we're coming back to Chatham, which usually on a good day would take, a good 8-9 hour drive. Go back into just the edge of the city limits, and, because the snowplows were on strike, none of the roads had been cleared. And apparently, I was still asleep. We hit some ice, spun out. It's just spun out like uncontrollably. Car coming the other way it just T-boned our car directly where I was sitting. So it just crushed the car from full size to about half the size of the car. Nobody knows where I went. It was really strange. So I was rushed to Chatham, but Chatham wasn't equipped for the operations that I needed to survive. So they rushed me to the London hospital. They didn't think I was going to survive anyway. So they just wanted a place for me to go. So they put me in like a small room area where on the floor where everyone's going to die anyway. So it really didn't mean much. But for some reason, there's a purpose for me. I kept surviving. I just kept surviving. And they couldn't understand why or how I kept surviving. My parents came down, my fiance came down because they were expecting me not to be there the following day. So they were going to be there just to see me one last time. I had a room up on one of the 3rd or 5th floor, and the rehab rooms were downstairs in the basement. So that ride in the wheelchair from my 5th floor down to the basement was so much stimulation on my brain, I would just fall asleep. They couldn't do anything with me because I was just falling asleep. And they thought, this is ridiculous. He's not going to survive. It's funny because when you're in your coma, you can still hear things happening and going on around you. And doctors would say, well, he'll never be 100%. He'll never be 100%. 1 in a million make it back to being normal again. And, for some reason I heard all this and my brain just registered all this. It kicked in for some reason. And now for some reason, I don't know why, but when I heard this, my brain fired up. It said, I had this motivation, this drive came from somewhere. I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I couldn't see, I couldn't do anything at the time. And I kept saying, home, home. And people would say, you can't go home yet, you can't go home yet. And one person, that was my dad, said something different. And he doesn't know why he said this, or, why, he didn't just say you can't go home yet. He said, when you get stronger. And to me at the time, getting stronger meant doing better physically, because I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything. So I then dedicated myself to physiotherapy. And that's where my love, again, of exercise, and I see the healing powers of physiotherapy and physio and exercise. By doing the exercise, I not only healed myself, physically, but mentally as well. All that oxygen from doing the exercises and pushing myself.
When do you remember, how long after the accident was it that you started to see the progress that you're talking about? Like, how long did that take?
That I started to realize, it was almost immediate. Like, almost immediately, because you could see improvements every day. Every day I would see little improvements, and I'm going to better myself each time. So yesterday I was able to run this far. Then today, let's do a little bit further. Let's go.
How did you deal with all the negative stuff around you? Like people telling you you're not going to do it, you're not going to make it. Yeah. Like from the very beginning when they were going to donate your organs all the way up until...
Exactly. Because I did hear that every day. Steve, from the nurses, don't worry, if you don't get to be back to 100%. That was kind of drilled into me every day. But every day, I would get mad at the nurses and the therapists and point at them and say, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to be 100%. I'm going to be better than 100%. I was at Parkwood, and they again, they would always say, 1 in a million, Steve, 1 in a million, and make it. Well, I'm the one. I kept saying, I'm the one. There's no question. I'm the one. I'm the one that's going to do it. I'm that 1 in a million. And then on the way out of the hospital, they said, so you're the one? I said, yep, I'm the one. And, I'll tell you a story. When I did go back to playing soccer, first of all, I had a hard time kicking the soccer ball and, learning the game, how the game operated again. And I used to score a lot of goals when I was younger. And so then I just wanted to score a goal again. So then I ended up scoring a goal. Now, well, flip, this isn't good enough. I want to score more. So then, almost every game, I would start scoring. And then one time I scored 3 goals in the game, got the hat trick. I thought, wow, this is it. It has been so long, and I've done it. I'm back. Afterwards, I had planned on being a teacher. I'll tell you some of this, and but funny thing was that now that I read a page or two from a book and I'd fall asleep. So again, I had to retrain my brain, so it was almost impossible to be a teacher again. But I thought, well, I want to go back into the school system, but I want to help out kids who have been through what I've been through. Maybe they have a brain injury, maybe they have a disability, So then I became an EA. And then after that, I went on to getting into exercise. They were offering a personal trainer's certification at the YMCA because I had done some volunteer work there. So then I learned how to be a personal trainer through the YMCA. And then I heard about working with seniors, the senior population. So then I started doing that through the VON. Then I was doing exercise for seniors, and then for people with disabilities, we kind of branched out, worked with people with Parkinson's and people with MS, seniors, people with stroke, any acute injuries. So that's how I got really into exercise therapy again.
Just my final question would be, you had an incredible sort of life-altering challenge ahead of you, right? Mm-hmm. To stay alive.
Yeah.
Most people today have something that they're dealing with, and they feel it's either overwhelming or it's a huge barrier.
Right.
Very different than yours, but for them it's still, a serious issue. Mm-hmm. What advice could you give them based on your experience to help them overcome that barrier that they're experiencing today?
Right. Well, each day is a stepping stone. All you have to do is take one little step. Just take one step. Just start out with starting out small, and then you'll see the benefits. And then maybe the day after that you do a little bit more, and then pretty soon it's just the baby steps. Start with baby steps. Just something small. You can even just sit in your chair. If you're that type of person, you start with a walk. A 5-minute walk, or you can do the exercise in your chair.
So you're talking about focusing on today, not thinking about long-term goals, not thinking about all that crazy stuff, weight loss, or maybe it's another family issue, whatever. Just focus on today, being the best person
today.
that you can be.
Yeah, what can you do today? Something small.